Yes?
Gnarldolf, a troll. For 2 months now, every night, I've been hearing this horrible, bloodthirsty grunting near the farm. The guard says I'm only imagining it, but trust me, I've seen enough of the world to know troll noises when I hear them. When it all started, the grunting came from back in the forest, but it's gotten closer each night. And I'm sure that thing is out for my animals. So, what do you say? You kill Gnarldolf for me, and in return, you will get one of my very best donkeys for free. Whirlwind. And believe me, he lives up to his name. What? That doesn't ring a bell. Gnarldolf? As in, the Gnarldolf? From the fairy tale, The Seraph and the Beast. Considering how horrible the grunting sounds, that name seemed fitting to me. But call him what you want, it doesn't matter, as long as you kill him. Oh, that should be pretty easy. Just wait until shortly after midnight and then scout the area. Eventually, you'll hear that grunting I told you about, then just find out where it comes from. And needless to say, be careful. You look like you can take care of yourself, otherwise I wouldn't have asked. But these beasts are not to be underestimated.
Yes?
An obelisk. Oh, thank you. You truly are a...
And here we are. Welcome to Ark. I've got some things to take care of here, so let's meet at the market once you're ready to meet Grandmaster Tealor Arenthiel and his mages in person, alright? By his own son, Nerazil, yeah. But roughly 2.5 years ago, he suddenly appeared back in Enderal, accompanied by a handful of mages who once fought against him in the Great War. Weird, I know, but that's how it was. He did, yeah. It seems that something happened between him and them that made them sort out their issues, you could say. They're allies now, and frankly, nobody quite knows why. You can imagine what kind of uproar that caused among the Holy Order itself. But in the end, Arenthiel got things his way. You can say what you want about him, but he never lost his charisma, that's for sure. You're telling me. But apparently their alliance has something to do with this red madness. I guess we'll see what happens. Oh, sure, I should have thought of that. Pardon me. Alright then. Ark is divided into 5 districts, not counting the harbor. The Foreign Quarter, where we are right now, the Marketplace, the Nobles' Quarters, the South Quarter, and the Temple. If you're looking to gear up, I guess the market would be the place to go. You can find anything there, from food to weapons, armor, and whatever else you need. If it's magical supplies and alchemy you need, however, you best try your luck in the Nobles' Quarters. But prepare yourself for some dismissive looks. Up there's also the bathing house and the theater, in case you have the coin for that. Finally, there's the temple, which is hard to overlook. Normal citizens are not permitted to enter it, and from up there, the Holy Order reigns over this country. But if all goes according to plan, you'll soon see it from the inside. And then there's the Undercity. Yeah, it doesn't, and it isn't. The Undercity's a cluster of caves directly beneath our feet. And down there is where the poor and the sick live, not to mention those that the Order doesn't like to see in their neat, pretty streets in the Upper City. Not a place I'd recommend you visit, at least not unless you're looking for mischievous things. Great. Then see you later, and enjoy your stay.
My son. Do you have a moment? Well, it is actually quite simple. But since you were kind enough not to just ignore me and walk by as the others did, I would like to share my gratitude for that first. You travel a lot, don't you? I can tell by the mud on your boots. Here, one of these books might come in handy on your journeys. Which one do you prefer? Splendid! Say, would you happen to be interested in earning yourself some more coins? Or, even better, more books like those? There is something I need help with. I have a problem, and this problem is called Celia, which happens to be my sister. Where should I start? You know, I am one of those people who wasn't given everything by fate. Quite the contrary, in fact. When I was a child, the village I grew up in, Foomville, was ambushed by bandits, and both my father and my mother died during the attack. Thank you, but it's ancient history now. Fact is, my sister and I dealt with this event differently. We managed to flee the attack and make it to Ark, where the guards, of course, threw us into the Undercity. But while I tried to honor my father's heritage by using the little I could from our savings by setting up a business, she preferred to wallow in her misery instead. She got to know the wrong people and has, since then, never done a single bit of honest work. Frankly, she's a dust addict. Day and night she does nothing else but rot in those drinking holes in the Undercity and blows what little money she makes on her drage. Now, of course, she is still my sister, so all of these years I paid her rent so she doesn't have to sleep on the streets. However, things have changed. Recently she started using our father's heritage to pay for her addiction, and I will not accept that. Well, technically it's our money. Basically, it was a share our father had in a small business here. He was so proud of it, you wouldn't believe it. Luckily enough, I managed to save that paper from the bandits and turned it in at the bank a few years ago, after I realized how valuable it was. Since then, it has turned into quite a formidable sum. Nothing huge, of course, but enough to save my business from bankruptcy. You understand? In theory, it is our money, but without me, she would probably have sold it for a bottle of ale, and I won't let her spit on our father's heritage that way. Of course, you wouldn't know that. Glimmercap dust, the blue bliss, or however you want to call it. It's a drage, a dangerous one. Apparently, it makes you feel as if you're walking the eternal paths, but it also kills you quicker than the sunfire. Oh, believe me, I did. Which is why she simply hid the key to our safe in the bank somewhere that I couldn't find it. So, long story short, this is where you come in. I want you to get her to give me that key. How you do it is up to you. But if you succeed, it won't be to your disadvantage. Anywhere there's rats and dust. But she spends most of her time in the False Dog in the Undercity. One of those dumps I told you about. Just come back to me once you've found something.
Walk blessed. Let me think. I think business isn't going so well. Maybe you could try to talk to her, see if there's anything you can do. Greetings!
Monsieur?
Yes? Yes?
Always complaining. This is really...
Monsieur?
My sir? You're my sir? My sir?
Yes?
Walk blessed. Aye. What's happening to this world, I wonder? Seems everyone is eager to go at each other's throats. It's a shame. Some shifts never end.
Yes?
Five swords in a single day. Who they think I am? The god of the forge?
Probably think she's Vatira incarnate.
Yes, they are, but only to members of the Order. Sorry. I'm sure the smiths at the marketplace are willing to sell you something, though.
Lovely day, isn't it?
Well met.
Well met. Malthus blessings.
Monsieur? Yes?
Huh? Can I help you?
What?
What? Did you say something? No, I'm perfectly fine. This is a grave, I'm kneeling in front of it. I couldn't be better. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. My sister, Gadea, I don't know if you've heard about it, but there was this incident in the temple. The Red Madness. And you've heard about it. My sister. She was a novice, just as I am. And she... You know, she met this boy. He was only of the manufacturer's path, and neither our parents nor the Holy Order would have approved. She wanted to leave the city with him. Travel the lands, just like in the bard songs. I called her a fool. I told her that it was our path to serve the Order, and that leaving here would be a sin. 3 days later it happened. She sat in the first row in Europe. You know.
Yeah. Sorry if I didn't tell them that already.
You say it as if it were far-fetched. But it is my fault. Without me, she would be with that boy in Duneville, building a new life. It is my fault she was in the lecture that day. No matter how I twist and turn it, this is how it is. Maybe. Maybe not. Anyway, I should go back to the temple. Thank you for your words. Walk blessed.
My name? Well, isn't this a surprise? Where are you headed?
To the theater. Have you heard the news? Till the next day of the Kraken, there will be a new performance of I Once Loved a Scarag Wench.
Oh, so you want to see that? Don't you remember what Father Torrental said in the last sermon? The Order deems the, how shall I say, the message of this play as estranging, pathless, one might even say.
Oh? And why would that be?
Well, according to him, how the play portrays the Skyrag is far too positive. As civilized people even. There's nothing to see with their barbaric rites and culture. Torrental says that watching rubbish like this only breeds...
Walk blessed, my child. How may I?
I didn't
Malthus blessed this body. Rid it of... What? The path is... Who founded this country under Malthus's guidance.
Walk blessed. See you around.
Yes. Only a people united in flesh and spirit shall prevail throughout the ages. Verse 39. There's the path of the manufacturers, whose hard work provides for the iron and food of our people. Then there's the path of the erudites, who follow professions that require higher knowledge, such as scribery and alchemy. And then there are the sublime, who were born to lead our country. Within one's path, a person is free to choose, but to cross those borders is almost always blasphemy. There are exceptions in which a soul's destiny unveils only later in its life. For example, there was Laura Mortarblade, who was born to the manufacturer's path, but who became one of the most fabled keepers of Enderal. But they are what they are, exceptions. Yes. Now don't tell me you've never heard of that before. It is recounted the same way in the entire civilized world. It was the Lightborn who saved this world from the chaos it fell into after Azatron's death. Yes, Enderal was, other than countries such as Nerim, Kira, or wherever you come from, an uncharted land. It was Malthus himself who showed a young couple, Selna and Keteron, and their followers the way to Enderal. but it would take far too long to recite that entire tale, and I doubt you have that much time. If you are interested in their journey, I suggest you read The Path. It is good for the soul anyway, even for an outlander.
Keep walking.
Huh? What do you want?
My sir.
Malphas's blessings.
My sir.
Huh? Wait, I think I know you. You work for the Order, don't you? Why are those wild mages up in the temple? Malphas, forgive my doubts, but why would the Grandmaster side with heretics? It just doesn't add up.
What?
Malphas.
Walk blessed, my sir.
Hear my words, O path-abiding people of this holy city. A miracle has happened, a miracle that must have been, due to its sheer glory, brought forth by Malphas himself. Telor Arenthil has returned. Yes, you have heard right. The lost heir to the throne, son of Lorius, has, after decades of imprisonment by his treacherous son, returned to his position as Grand Master of the Holy Order. The esteemed Trakesha, Natara Dal Varim, thereby returns to her position as second in command, and no one else but Telor Arenthil himself shall lead this holy city from this day on. His fearless leadership shall be what helps us find our way through these troubled times. Cherish, O brothers and sisters. Cherish and thank the Lord for his mercy.
Walk blessed, my sir. How can Sylvan and friends serve you today? Would you like to open a personal vault? Or perhaps even acquire an estate? A ledger. Your very own safe in our house, which we will manage on your behalf. We will meticulously track all your deposits and withdrawals, and thanks to our very generous interest rates, the longer you entrust your money with us, the more it proliferates on its own. Well, evidently this was a metaphor. Just imagine that for every day your money rests in our vaults, we present you with some extra coin on top of it, as in appreciation for your trust, so to speak. Well, you see, this is a highly complicated process, and I fear it would be a matter of near impossibility to elucidate my response in such a fashion that you would be capable of comprehending it with your, I beg your pardon, most likely quite limited intellectual capabilities. Let us talk about more enjoyable matters instead, such as your money. Very well. We will need a 100 penny deposit to start with. After that, you may make a withdrawal or deposit whenever you would like. Excellent. You will not regret this. Here, this is your personal safe key. This way, you may access your shelf even when we are closed. To make a deposit, simply talk to one of the bankers or put it on the shelf yourself. And should you acquire any shareholdings, simply give them to me and we will allocate them with your future interest. Well, holdings for something, a business, a caravan, things like that. But forgive me for saying so, you do not seem to be a man of means, so I don't suppose it will be relevant to you. Of course. Of course. Walk blessed! And
Monsieur?
don't forget, your money is safe with Sylvan and friends. Exceedingly safe, believe me.
Greetings.
Huh? Can I help you?
They just sit on their asses and settle themselves. Idiots. Yeah, it's not as if I didn't tell them that already.
Yes?
Come to Yorinto Shamgas and buy fish. Only the best and fresh from the Red Sea.
Well, flee isn't exactly the right word for it. I call it tactical relocalization. Only a stupid businessman will try to sell spices amidst a civil war.
If it's clam and fish,
Well, they are blasphemy. What else? The gods have reigned wind for millennia. Whoever thinks one could just kill the gods as they could kill a rabbit must be another fool. Oh, well, after those rumors about the Lightborn's death started, the council members must have thought, now's the time for power struggles.
Hungry? I've got just
Very stupid if you ask me, and very bad for the economy. Thank the sun I was one of the few who fled early enough. But this madness has cost far too many lives. Far too many. Spices, rugs, delicacies, only the best. Straight from Kile. Take a look. Farewell.
Hello. Have you heard the news about the Magister? Word has it that he murdered 30 novices.
Rena Shalom, my sir. Kirash, what gave me away? My skin or my accent?
Come of this world.
Well, I'll have to work on my disguise then. Jokes aside, I am from Kaira, but I was only 6 years old when my commune came to this country, and I'll have seen my 60th winter next month, so I suppose that makes me as Enderalian as most people around here. Oh, there were many reasons. Suffice it to say that Kaira isn't the glittering, exotic country of dreams and poems that bards make it out to be. I am glad to live here. You can say what you will about Enderal, but at least it's peaceful. Of course, Sherry.
Sailors, how long do they expect me to wait for my shipment?
Oh, how nice of you to ask. I can't complain. I suppose the wars in Kile and Kira make it harder to get your hands on certain wares. But still, life's good. Definitely more comfortable than my time on the road, though. What? No, I was a vagabond, as people like to say. A traveling mage. You know, I grew up in a village near Duneville. Actually, I had a pretty good childhood there. But when I discovered my magical gifts, well, let's just put it this way. It changed how people treated me, even my own parents. I just felt the need to, I don't know, get out, see some of this world. So after I did the passage to the water, that is, after the Order taught me how to use my magic path, I decided not to return to my village and packed my traps and hit the road. Kind of bold, yes, but back then, I didn't care. But I digress. Ugh, hard. The Arcanist made it clear that we stood at the crossroads. Either we learn to control the magic, or we become outlaws. It was not a pleasant time, I can tell you that much. The keepers were extremely strict, and you learn to be independent, to not get too close to anybody. But no offense, that's a very personal topic. Well, that's one of the upsides of being an Arcanist. You don't need to be a bulk of muscle to defend yourself against a pack of wolves. Plus, back in those days, the roads were safer by far. All these brigands, the frenzied Vatirs, the lost ones, that's new, for whatever reason. As I said, I don't want to talk about it. Sorry. Well, they weren't exactly hostile to me, but it was the small things. Looks, talk going on behind my back. Over time, that just gets to you. But you know, I don't think I can blame them, especially with the village folk. The word magic is always mentioned together with wild magic, Orbeus, and devastated cities. And all of a sudden, here I am, suddenly one of them who can do those things, even though I don't have Eterna blood. How is that supposed to fit into their worldview? They can't really know better.
We always go too easy.
I probably made it sound worse than it was. I've heard that on Niram, magically gifted people get driven out of their village, or worse. I guess I should consider myself lucky. Sure, take a look. Walk blessed. Hungry for our secrets? I have books, scrolls, potions, anything for friends of path-abiding magic.
As if I didn't tell them that.
If it's and fish you seek, then
Fruits,
come and take it. Long beak.
Brad, from the oven. Treat yourself.
Walk blessed.
Huh? Can I help you?
Oh, mostly pastries and sweets. Quite delicious.
Blazes.
Hungry
Sorry.
for arcane secrets?
I know.
I
I
have
can't sing.
books, scrolls, potions, anything for friends of path-abiding magic.
Some things never. Uh-huh. Information? What do you mean? Let me see. That's not very much, but fine. Couple of moons ago, I had a really strange guy as a customer. He wore 2 sabers, like those coal people do, but when he moved, he was really swift about it, like he was some kind of thief. I think he was an assassin, as they call them. Quiranian contract killers. You can hide within a fortress, but they'll find you. Somehow break into your room and kill you in your sleep. And unlike those everyday scroungers, they know how to wield a sword, like Loram Waterblade did. Who knows? Maybe that'll help you. Now, I just put them out for you to look at. Tell me what you need, and be quick about it. Yup. What? That wasn't enough? Huh. Let me think. Yeah. There was that wench once. A farmer. She came running into the city as if chased by the Black Guardian and told the guards something about an ambush on her farm. Nothing unusual, you could say, especially nowadays, but apparently the bandits were led by a mage. And, well, if you can believe that farmer woman, she conjured the sunfire down from the sky. Green fire, lightning, the living dead rising from the ground, a wild mage. In other words, one of those sinistropes. But she also knew elemental magic like the keepers do. I wouldn't want to come across someone like her. Walk blessing.
Huh?
A foreigner, huh? Well, you've chosen a strange time to visit this country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What? Of course. Take your time. Good luck.
But that's how it is. Life is what you...
Yes? What are you doing here?
What?
Monsieur?
Now look at that. A new face. How can Gaborga Boff serve you today? A Pyrean dagger, mayhaps? No? How about an ancient claymore for the steps of Eraziel? Wait. Say that again. Oh, by the name of the sun! You're Neremaze, aren't you? And even better, you're from Ostian. Oh, by the now deceased seven gods. What brings you here? To Enderal, I mean. Indeed, I am. And before you ask, I fled, just as you probably did, even though the artist inside of me loves the chaos. The family man doesn't. At least not enough that he would risk the life of his family. And well, now here I am. By the face of time, what a dull place this is. The people here, this endless rambling about the path and Malthus. I would have never thought the Order could actually succeed in keeping the truth about the Lightborn's death from the people so long. But in a place like this, that problem pretty much solves itself, it seems. The people here are so obstinate. I was surprised to find out they do not still pray to a Satyron. Oh, my friend, if I were to tell you this, what reason would you have for my services? Secret of the trade. The forbidden book? Don't hold it against me, but I'd rather keep quiet about that. Maybe ask that librarian, Marius. He always struck me as the free-spoken type. Oh yes, that I am. Painter of the black powder, the fiery moments, one could say. In Nerem I could make a living from that. But in this country, my art is not exactly acknowledged. Of course. Take care.
Malthus blessing. Lovely day, isn't it?
Walk blessed.
Yes?
Is it important? Hello.
So many strange faces.
Is it important?
Yes. What are you doing here?
Yes?
Now, come on, just a little to the... Blasted blazes! You are really starting to annoy me, you know that? Oh, now look at that. A visitor. Great. Just great. What do you want? Are you here because of the placard? Oh, great. And here I thought someone had actually read it. But no, if it isn't about mine song and fair ladies, people just don't care. I'm looking for a helping hand, an adventure. Someone willing to take over a very important task for Horst and me. Yes, Horst. And no, he is not my imaginary friend, but this gorgeous example of Enderalian metallurgy and starling ingeniousness right beside me. My personal centurion, and soon my new body. Yes, steel instead of flesh, energy instead of blood. Away with this useless shell and its pathetic fugacity. In Horst's body, I will live on forever. Ah, you wouldn't understand this even if you'd been my apprentice for 15 years. If it helps you, just imagine that I transfer my consciousness, my soul, into Horst's body. And by doing this, I become him. Apotheosis, that's what the scholars from Cairo call it. Man's ascent to something higher. A deity, you could say. The only logical response to current events, by the way. Ah, red madness, death of the Lightborn. You don't need to be one of those keepers to see something is happening in this world. It's going south, and other than the Holy Order and his new Nehramese magically gifted pals I am no friend of, trying to pray away such threats. We need to change humanity. The apotheosis, the overcoming of our fleshly nature, is the first step. Unfortunately, I seem to be the only one who sees it that way. But hey, that's their choice.